Hello guys, this is Vysh. So episode number 14, January 18th, Tuesday. So we'll discuss today's Hindu articles. I hope you have seen the previous day's articles because last 2-3 days very important articles have been coming, and all those are important for your UPSC prelims and mains. And please subscribe to all our channels because we are giving completely free lectures on almost every subject which is needed for UPSC, both in Hindi and English. And if you're new to this channel, please save our number, this number, and WhatsApp me like UPSC free. Only then you will daily get the updates of the video. Okay, or if you hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, you will get the notifications on your YouTube also. So please watch them. And first we'll discuss the agenda, and I'll tell you like why some of the articles are not important today. Okay, the first one, if you see, this is politics. Elections are coming up, so Punjab politics about this Congress or the SAD party, Aam Aadmi party, they are all having some agenda and what is the plans going on there. So that triangular politics, okay, that is what is discussed, which is not needed for your exam. Second one, if you see red lines, this is an issue between China and this Lithuania country, because of which European Union is also in picture, and the tensions. Okay, why this tension is there, and what is the things going on, and how is it important for India? That we'll see. So for your GS2, this is important. Means this is about the livestock census, new rural schemes, and what is going on there because the livestock census happened recently. So this one we'll see in respect to GS3 mains. This one, if you see, India's watchwords is not so bright 2022. This can be an overall summary for your entire international relations. Okay, meaning the articles which we discuss individually day by day, that is summarized here, because in 2022 also the same problems is going to stay. So what are the list of problems? I'll tell you here itself. We are not going to discuss this article because it's just, as I told, one paragraph about each of the issues which I'm going to list down here, which we already discussed in past editorials. Okay, so that is telling about the China's issue with USAs, because China's economy is growing and it's very big. Okay, so now the latest statistics, they're telling that China will be even bigger in GDP compared to USA. Okay, then Taiwan and Hong Kong issue, which we'll discuss in this issue also, this China Lithuania issue. So Taiwan, it's like they have this one China policy where Taiwan they consider as part of China, and then earlier they had this one country two systems policy where Hong Kong and others had other systems, but now that also is now under China. They have destroyed all the Hong Kong model and all. They believe everything is under China, so that issues is going to stay. And 2022 also there will be discussion. Then Russia and Ukraine issue I discussed recently, where the a kind of war kind of situation is going on there. Then Kazakhstan unrest, this also we discussed a few days back. Then there is African, military coups keep happening. The people who are in power is always pulled down, then military takes over. So that keeps happening in almost every country there. Okay, so that coups in Africa. Taliban in Afghanistan is going to stay. Terrorism in Indonesia is a new thing there, which is like, it's not a new thing, but it is like too much rising nowadays. Okay, new groups are being formed, terrorist groups, like when we tell about Taliban or ISIS, like that new some Jamaat something group and all is coming there, and they are going to do a lot of terrorist activities there. So that is a new thing which will be there in 2022. Iran issues are there always, the sanctions and all problems with USA. Then USA has something called this CATSA agreement, in which they tell you should not do trading with Russia, or you should not do trade using our dollars with Russia. Like there are many things are there, but India still does not follow that, and India go and buy missiles from Russia, and also that kind of issue is also going to stay. Then there is the second quad which is being formed in the western side. In the eastern side, India already has India, USA, Japan, and Australia. There is a quad group. So in the western side also, now India and USA with two other countries is forming the second quad. So tell me in comment section which is that second quad country names. Okay, India, USA, and two more are there. Tell me in comment section which is that quad members, because we have already discussed this. Then Israel, Palestine, and the Middle East issue, where all those island nations and all those North African countries, all these people have problems with geography, religion, all these things. So that will still continue. Then there is this India border problems with both China and Pakistan, in Ladakh also, in Arunachal Pradesh also. So all these things are going on. Then we have the next article. Okay, so this is a summary, one, two, or two lines. They have just mentioned about all these things, so it is not worth the discussion. But if you want for an overall summary, you can read this. But anyway, I have taught you all these things separately. Okay. Now next one, if you see, this is Ramchandra Guha, who writes all the history textbooks and all. So he keeps writing books. So now a new thing he has come wrote, like Rebels Against the Raj, Western Fighters for India's Freedom. So the Western freedom fighters, which also UPSC sometimes takes interest and asks questions to you about Annie Besant and many other people. So he has 7 rebels. Okay, 7 people's names they have told. Like one is Annie Besant, then this Horniman, then Samuel, Madeline Slade, who later became Miraben, Philip Pratt, Richard Ralph, then this Catherine Mary, who is later Sarla Ben. So these 7 people's story he has written in that book. So from that, a small portion Hindu people have taken and published it here. Okay, so I'll one slide will I put in green because one slide I'll show you about like two lines about these people. But still, you have to do more research on this, because just because this book is there and is mentioned in the Hindu, UPSC may trouble you, like maybe match the following, like this is related to that body or this university or this movement or their timeline, at least something you should know. Okay, so that homework will be given to you. But anyway, I'll discuss one slide, okay, just to tell the basics of what these people did for the freedom struggle. Okay, so 3 articles we'll be discussing. Now next one, if you see, this one is the Tamil Nadu related issue. There this NEET related exam and bill, some problems always comes politically, DMK party, and everybody has their own stance and it's going on. Always debate is going on. So it's an internal issue. We are not discussing that. Okay. Then here next one, if you see, is the formal employment has come down during the lockdown and all. It has come down, and they are taking that stats by looking at the EPF statistics, like the provident fund which is being given in the last financial year, that is comparatively lesser. So they are understanding that the formal employment is also has gone down. Okay, then the last one, this already we have a video in Vysh courses, you can go and see Kerala Silver Line. Okay, they are going to make a semi-speed like metro kind of bullet kind of train from north to south. So their northern district of Kasaragod to the south of Trivandrum. They'll have a journey time cut short from, I think presently it is some 13-14 hours. Now it will come down to 5-6 hours. So it's going to be like rocket speed if it comes. But problem is that it is being protested because around 64,000 crore rupees is needed for this, and that Kerala government don't have. They are going to take entirely as loan. So people are questioning like what was the need for this when you have many other problems to solve. Okay, so that kind of issues, and we have already discussed this. Okay, so video, please go and watch it in Vysh courses channel, just 18 minutes video. You can watch it in 2x speed. Like that, every day we are doing videos in Vysh courses. Please watch. So this is the agenda for today. 3 articles we will discuss. So if you are new, we want to tell you that entire thing on YouTube will be completely free. If at all a paid course is there, that will also be announced through the YouTube itself. So just by subscribing to this channel, you come to know all the updates. You don't have to worry that what if there is any other paid course, what if there is something else which this channel is providing. Everything is either told in the YouTube, or if you are in my WhatsApp, you will anyway get daily messages. Okay, so please stay connected with me, and all our team members are working day and night for Hindi and English lectures. Hindi audience has recently increased a bit, and that is why we are focusing more on that. So you should know that 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock you will get English lectures, and 8 o'clock you will get the Hindi lectures. Okay, and that is happening almost every day. Okay, these are the different thumbnails of different playlists. Spectrum is there in Hindi and English. Tamil Nadu textbook we will complete in 1 month hopefully. Then we have this R.S. Sharma, Satish Chandra, Nitin Singhania, Fine Arts. These are all history lectures. Okay, world history also I am planning, but because it is need to be made very perfectly, because YouTube, whenever something there is a shortage, I try to make the most perfect way it should be. Okay, I will be myself doing the history lectures. So that world history is in progress. So once it's ready, I'll publish it. Okay, either it's a free or a paid course, that will be decided later, but maybe after March or after April that will be launched. Okay, so please wait for that. Then polity English and Hindi is there, environment English and Hindi is there. Environment now almost every 3 days, every 4 days I'm publishing a new lecture. So please watch it from the starting. Okay, more than 18-20 lectures are already out. Please watch it. Then there is geography NCRT, which class 11th is already completed. 6th to 11th is completely uploaded. Okay, in English, and Hindi class 11th is there, and class 12 is going to start next week. Okay, so please see to it that you are watching this. Environment also 20 episodes are already over. Almost everything, banking and money, your external sector, the repo rate, whatever you need to study of economics from the scratch, this lecture series is going on. 20 episodes is out. If you give proper comments, more episodes will come. Okay, so please see to it that you are watching it. And the mains lectures, as of now, some of the lectures you have kept on hold. Later we'll again continue. Okay, because now you have to focus on prelims. MCQ series also after March it will start. Okay, all the MCQ related revision series will start after March. So the first, as I told, that personalities in that Ramchandra Guha's book, if you see, this Annie Besant, promoted the women related movements, and this in this patriarchal society it was. So in Spectrum also we have studied a lot of things, like what all she did, and the INC Congress, how she related, did she become the president, which year she became the president. She went to jail for some movement. So after that somebody else renounced their knighthood. So many things are there which we have already studied in Spectrum. So here in that book they are the Ramchandra Guha is mentioning, like she was a co-founder of university like BHU, Banaras Hindu University, and scholarly attention on the culture, civilization, all these things is there. Out of this all all 7 names, I think she's the most popular one. So that is there. Then again, this second person, this newspaper called Bombay Chronicle, this person was running it. So that is one of the most bravest kind of thing, promoted and encouraged young journalist, and also campaigned tirelessly for the freedom of the press. So that is his connection. So if UPSC put a match the following just because of this article, you should know at least those things. Okay. So this person, if you see Satyanand or Samuel, is like against forced labor in the hilly areas, then horticulture industry, sustaining the economy of Himachal. These are the things which he was involved in. Okay. So this for prelims sake, I'm telling you the points. Then if you see this Madeleine Slade, Mirabean was like environmental tract, then influencing this even the film. Okay, film Gandhi, you should obviously, I hope you have seen, because 4-5 years back I told you please watch that movie when I was doing Spectrum lectures. It will give you an entire series of event, okay, starting from Gandhi's life in South Africa, also coming to India and getting independence. Everything is there in that movie. Okay, like that, separate movies are also there. About Mountbatten movies are there, about Vallabhai Patel, separate movies there in which Paresh Rawal is playing Patel. So like that, for everyone there is a movie. So history, just by movies you can learn a lot of things. Okay, at least for your mains you will get all the stories. For prelims factual things only, you need to read the textbooks. Okay. Then this Philip Spratt is there, right of workers. Then this against license Raj and all these things he worked. Then if you see Richard, next person is like founded a rural university, founded a charitable hospital. Then self-reliance among the oppressed. This is the things which he worked on. Okay. Then Catherine, which is Serlaben, pioneering girls' school. And here if you see training and nurturing the social workers, and these social workers only later will go and be part of movements like Chipko Andolan, which you are studying in environment. So this kind of things is their basic contribution. Now your homework is you have to make a table kind of thing, like 7 people's name and this keywords, like what they worked on, what are the events they worked on, and what is their timeline also. Okay, because you should know this. I think Annie Besant and the Samuel and all died that time itself, in the British days itself. And then this Honeyman also, I think just after independence he died. And remaining these 4 people were there for many more years, 1950s, 60s, 70s and all, and they were contributing many things to them. So author Ramchandra Guha is finally telling that if Annie Besant was alive and was there, India would have done more things in those directions, and the upliftment of society would have happened. That is the overall gist of that book. Okay, so if you're interested, you can buy that book also. I'm not promoting any book, but if you want, you can read that. Okay, so this is the overall gist of that first article. Now, second one, China and Lithuania issue. So map, if you see world map, see this much big, this is China and this is Lithuania, the small country. Okay, you should know this Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, these are all here. Okay, so this is the overall map. These are the 2 flags of the countries, China and Lithuania. Lithuania. And this one, if you see, this is Beijing. And this is Taiwan. Okay, so you should know that they had this one China policy in which they believe that this entire thing is theirs. Okay, Taiwan, they never give a separate representation, and many other countries also, because of their problems with China, trade deficit with China and all, they fear to have separate relationship with Taiwan. Okay, like you should know, when Trump was there also, Trump directly called Taiwan's office and all, and that created problems between China and USA, because they don't expect that any deal happens directly with Taiwan. Anything has to happen, it should happen through China. That is what they believe. So this China-Taiwan issue, and it's there since long time. It's a different story. Maybe in a different international relation video we can cover it. Okay, so there you should know, like earlier, whoever were there in China, they all ran and settled here, and that's how it is. So they are considered this is the original China, Taiwan, and this is the People's Republic of China, PRC. So that and all is a Chinese story. It's a different thing, okay, which we cannot cover here. And there, even now, protest is going on. Like Taiwan is not China, Taiwan be Taiwan. The people are protesting every time. But in front of China, you cannot suddenly like that protest and win. Okay, this is the overall background on which we will discuss this thing. Okay, so European Union has now a problem seeing like this one, Lithuania and China is fighting. Okay, so what is the problem? What is the tension? So if you see in a recent meeting also, EU person, he told like we stand strongly with this country, which is a member of both the European Union and NATO. But after that, did not do any announcement like how we will support or what actions we will take. That did not do. Why? Because European Union is expecting or keeping an eye on its substantial $828 billion annual trade with Beijing. Okay, we have a great relation with every country has this problem. They have very big trade problems with China that you cannot disappoint them, because that will affect your entire business. Okay, overall trade will affect. So that is why you can announce the support to your own countries, but you cannot do any particular actions. Okay, so now what happened is the office, okay, Taiwan representative office, which was set up in this Lithuania, that they have named it Taiwanese representative office, which is against the usual naming convention. Okay, this everybody sets up office. There is no problem in setting up a embassy kind of thing or a high commission kind of thing and all. But the naming, they always prefer the name should be this one, Taipei. Okay, the capital of their Taipei Economic and Cultural Center. This is what even in India, New Delhi, we have set up the office. But this Taiwanese name, China don't like being used because that is as if it is a separate country. Okay, so that is the problem which China is not happy with, because of it is telling this going against the one China policy. So these are sensitive red lines, you should not cross it. Okay, so this Lithuania has already told, like, just the name is like that, we have no problem with your one China policy, we are not going against it. But China, they don't like, they have this ego problem kind of thing, they don't like when somebody does these things. Okay, and also Taiwan have been since many days telling about the even Lithuania and all, telling about democratic values, and like telling against their communist policies. Okay, China's thing. Then also this is one of the first former Soviet republic. When USSR disintegrated, this is one country. Lithuania is one country which came out and became independent that time, and also they had closer ties with USA, Washington also. So overall, there is small problems already between Lithuania and China. Okay, so in between that, this naming also happened, and China, how they'll react. They'll react very badly. Their response will be very harsh. So they have been telling, like, we will downgrade the ties. We'll recall the ambassador. Then effective trade blockade will be there. And also they are telling nothing trading should, meaning the trade which EU do, European companies do with China, nothing should be sourced from Lithuania. You should cut ties with them. Okay, only then we will do exporting. If you want to continue exporting to China, anything, then you have to stop sourcing it from Lithuania. So like that, very, very harsh kind of conditions they are telling. So China's response, they are telling in a philosophical way, like, kill the chicken to scare the monkeys. Okay, so anywhere you see this, they are referring to this particular event. Okay, now if you see, India also will be looking into it, because European Union is a very big major power who has a great trade and all. So how this EU assesses the benefits and cost of taking on China on a core concern like this Taiwan issue will be closely watched in New Delhi, as it continues to recalibrate its own modus vivendi with China. Modus vivendi means, like, you have some problem with one country and you are trying to make it like a peaceful thing in future. Okay, so that problem already with China we have in various fronts. So we will have to wait and see how EU is dealing with Taiwan. Are they going to support their own country, or they are going to take harsh action against China? So based on that, India also can get some clue. Okay, so another thing you have to know, interesting, that this Lithuania doesn't worry about anything, because they actually has trade surplus with China. Okay, they are not dependent on their Chinese market or anything. They don't want anything from there. So that is why they can take such bold decisions. Okay, it's a very tiny country also. They have their own separate trade and all these things. So that is why they don't have anything. It's an exception in the overall European area. Okay, so this is the overall story of China and EU. Now, livestock census, you try to find in comment section, like, at how in what frequency does this happen. Like, human census will happen in India every 10 years. Okay, so like that, there are many other things, like this particular thing happens every 2 years, every 4 years, every 5 years. Different censuses are there in India. Okay, so it can be like tiger census is there. Go and find out tiger census. It happens in every how many years. Elephant census, it happens in every, because everything is different. It's not like 10 years. Okay, you have to know that. UPSC have asked questions on tiger census, so you should know, like, every 4 years or every 5 years. Then there is this I think this tortoise or dolphin census. All these things happens in India, so you should know the frequency at which it happens. When is the next event going to happen? When was the last one? Which statistics you should by heart for your exam? All these things you should know. So now the 20th livestock census has happened. So how frequently does the census happen is my second question for you today. Okay, first question I already asked, so try to answer both in comment section. So now livestock population is around 537 million, and 95% is in the rural areas. Okay, but the challenge is the access to veterinary services, because these people have all their livestock in the villages, but all the medical care is there in the cities or towns or in the districts or blocks. So these people have to travel far from the villages to treat these things. So that is what is being discussed in this full article. Okay, so government already, a lot of measures have been been implemented in this LH and DC, that is this livestock health and disease control program. Under that, many veterinary services, that too mobile veterinary unit, meaning your doorstep services. They will, like a van kind of thing, they'll come to your doorstep, and then they'll give you the veterinary services. Okay, like a delivery model. So this is happening, and already we have been implementing it successfully in this artificial insemination, vaccination for livestock. All this is happening. So this is a good thing, and it will proceed in the right direction, is what the author is telling. Okay, so Parliamentary Standing Committee of this ministry, Union Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying, has observed that inadequate testing and treatment facilities for veterinary diseases pose a major challenge, especially now where there is a drastic rise in zoonotic disease. Zoonotic disease means disease coming from animals, that is increasing. So we need to have better treatment and testing facilities. Okay, and most of the villages, it is lacking this. And also the samples, when collected, also it has to be then transported to the block and district, and also this gaps can be covered if we have MVUs. Okay, mobile veterinary unit. Okay, then this untrained animal health workers are there in plenty in the villages and all. Okay, quacks or untrained animal health workers, they give like very wrong kind of things, like inappropriate administration of antibiotics, then flawed prescriptions. Okay, and because of this, many diseases are increasing, like this mastitis, which they're telling, which is inflammation of this udder in cattle. Okay, that is the mammary gland in all the animals, that will have. So that is getting inflamed because of the wrong antibiotics or over prescription, all these things. Okay, so that also here we are discussing the antimicrobial resistance concept, which UPSC asked already in prelims and mains. Even in our test series, I think we have a question on this. So this occurs when the animal no longer responds to a drug to which it was originally responsive. Okay, meaning like even like you, we humans, like suppose you are Dolo 650, the tablet, you keep having everything for your small headache or small these things. Later when you have severe fever and all, this tablet won't work on you. Okay, because that body will not have will not be able to have that resistance. Okay, so that is why you should never have high or low dosages or incorrect duration of medication or over prescription. Okay, if doctor tells you take it daytime and night time, you cannot have it in the noon time. Okay, you have to have it the proper way. That if they tell have it for 10 days, you have to have it for 10 days. Only when the cycle is complete, antibiotics works properly. Okay, you cannot do it lesser days, you cannot do it more days. So this antimicrobial resistance is one thing which WHO already has put a lot of guidelines already since many years. Okay, so it has listed antibiotic resistance priority pathogen, a catalog of 12 species or families of bacteria that pose the great threat to human health. Okay, WHO has already listed this. And here if you see, there is this One Health vision which is laid down by Global Action Plan of WHO. Okay, so MVU model, which we have now, that should follow all these instructions and everything and do the correct way. Also, we have this MK Jain committee report, which is telling that livestock farmers face greater challenge in comparison to the traditional agricultural farmers. Okay, especially while accessing credit and livestock insurance. So we should have more schemes where the beneficiaries are livestock farmers, not the traditional farmers. Okay, because they are already getting the benefits, but these people are not getting the benefits. Okay. Also, if you see, since majority of these livestock farmers have 2 or 4 animals per household, okay, and so their longevity, their lifespan, their everything, if you improve, it can raise these people out of poverty. Also, it will help in elevating rural poverty because they are depending on them. Okay, and estimated 66,000 veterinary hospitals, polyclinics, dispensaries are there across the country presently. Okay, but you cannot reach everywhere because that much population we have, even livestock and human population, you cannot take that many animals to one particular place. Okay, you need more of these centers. So veterinary diagnostic and treatment facilities at farmers' doorstep for ailment, diseases, or any other emergency veterinary conditions by MVUs is the plan. So this MVU is what? It's a 4-wheeler van with working space for 1 veterinarian, 1 para-veterinarian, and a driver come attendant. So this is the capacity, or this is what is there in the van. Okay, so it has space for essentials such as equipment for diagnosis, treatment, minor surgery, other basic requirement for treatment of animals, audiovisual aids for awareness creation, GPS tracking of vehicle. All these things are there, facilities there, and they are planning something like 1 MVU for 1 lakh animals. However, the number of vans in use could be higher in regions with difficult terrain. Okay, with difficult terrain, more vans should be arranged. Then 70% of India's milk supply is sourced from farmers who own less than 5 animals. Okay, so if you suddenly see like 2-3 animals are sick or something happens to them, the supply of the milk also will get affected. Currently, India is the number 1 in milk production in the full world. So 10 liters per day loss will happen, 350 rupees per day loss will happen. So this will actually be like a line between sustenance and starvation for these people. Okay, it's a decider whether you will be sustaining or you will be going into starvation. Okay, so it's very, very important. Such lines you can use for your exams. It will be very good. And then MVUs have been successfully running either on higher or on state ownership basis in several states. Okay, already it's like in Andhra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Telangana, West Bengal, they have been successfully using MVO unit with positive result, and they are trying to reach the difficult terrain also. So this can be taken to the national level and reached everywhere. Okay. So upgradation of veterinary healthcare services, disease surveillance and training, and disease reporting in real time. This is what we are trying to focus in the near future. Okay, and also if you make this, more and more employment also will happen because every MVU needs for their maintenance, for their doctors, all these things, they need people. So will lead to a surge in employment opportunity also for these veterinarians and assistants. Okay, in lockdown time also, many innovations have come. Startups have done many things like video consultation between livestock farmers and doctors. So all these things are going to be considered, and India will go in a tech kind of way ahead. Okay. So there is a great deal of scope for innovations and intervention by the private sector also, because we need funding for all these things also. Or we can do public-private partnership model also, and MVU model will generate higher returns on investment. Okay, so this is the overall idea of this article. So please watch all these videos and give your comments. Okay, I see that nobody is commenting. You watch, you like, and you give a comment. It gives us like so much satisfaction that okay, we have done something for you. Okay, if you don't comment and you're simply watching half or ignoring it, then we don't feel like doing it the next episode. Okay, so please see to it that you give your comment today after every episode. Okay, every video which you watch, please put one comment. Let it be like thanks or okay or maybe suggestion or answers to the question which I asked. Please give your comment. Okay, so I'll wind up this. Subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.